Emma balanced a grocery bag on one hip while holding her 5-year-old daughter Lily's hand with the other. Life hadn't been easy since the divorce. Between 2 jobs and raising Lily alone, most days felt like a marathon she never signed up for. That afternoon at the small neighborhood park, Lily ran toward the swings, laughing. Emma sat on a nearby bench, finally catching her breath. "Mind if I sit here?" a calm voice asked. She looked up to see a tall man in his early 30s holding a cup of coffee. He looked friendly, kind eyes, warm smile. "Sure," Emma said politely. For a moment, they watched the kids playing. Then he spoke again. "My name's Daniel. My niece is over there on the slide." "I'm Emma," she replied. Lily soon ran back and hugged Emma's arm. "Mommy, watch me swing." Daniel smiled. "She's adorable." Emma hesitated before answering, the familiar worry creeping into her voice. "Thanks, but just so you know, I'm a single mom." She gave a small, awkward laugh. "Most men don't really like that." Daniel raised an eyebrow, clearly surprised. "Who told you that?" he asked. Emma shrugged. "Experience." For a second, Daniel didn't say anything. Then he looked at Lily giggling on the swing and back at Emma. His reaction wasn't what she expected. Instead of discomfort, his face softened. "Honestly," he said. "Any man who can't respect a woman raising a child on her own probably isn't the kind of man worth knowing." Emma blinked, caught off guard. For the first time in a long while, someone didn't see her situation as a problem. And she had no idea that this simple conversation was about to change both of their lives. Sparkles. Emma expected the conversation to end there. Usually, when men learned she was a single mom, the atmosphere changed. They became distant, polite, but uninterested. But Daniel didn't move from the bench. Instead, he leaned back and watched Lily laughing on the swings. "You know," he said thoughtfully, "my mom raised me alone." Emma turned to him, surprised. "She worked 2 jobs, Daniel continued. Some nights she barely slept, but she never let me feel like something was missing." Emma felt a quiet lump in her throat. "That's not easy," she admitted softly. Daniel smiled. "It wasn't. But it also taught me something important." "What's that?" "That strength doesn't always look loud. Sometimes it looks like a tired mom packing lunch at midnight or cheering at a school play after a long shift." Emma looked down at her hands. No one had ever described her life that way before. Most people just saw the label, single mom. Daniel glanced toward Lily again. "She seems really happy," he said. Emma nodded. "She's my whole world." Lily suddenly ran back toward them, her cheeks red from excitement. "Mommy! Did you see me?" "I did," Emma laughed. "You're getting really good." Daniel crouched down and smiled at Lily. "That was impressive." Lily grinned proudly. As Emma watched the interaction, something inside her shifted. Daniel wasn't trying to impress her. He was simply kind. And kindness, Emma realized, had been missing from many of the conversations she'd had before. But she still guarded her heart. Because life had taught her one thing. Sometimes people say the right words. But they don't always stay long enough to mean them. What Emma didn't realize was that Daniel was about to prove something she had stopped believing in entirely. Over the next few weeks, Emma kept seeing Daniel at the park. At first, she thought it was coincidence. But soon it became routine. Lily would run toward the playground, and Daniel would appear with his usual cup of coffee and that calm smile. Their conversations grew longer. They talked about work, childhood memories, favorite movies, simple things that made the days feel lighter. But Emma still kept her guard up. One evening, rain started pouring suddenly while Lily was still playing. Parents rushed to gather their children. Emma searched through her bag anxiously. "Great. I forgot Lily's jacket, she muttered. Before she could panic, Daniel walked over holding a small pink umbrella. Here, he said, opening it above Lily. Emma blinked in surprise. You carry a pink umbrella? Daniel chuckled. My niece left it in my car. Guess it finally came in handy. Lily giggled under the umbrella. Emma felt something warm in her chest. It wasn't a big gesture. But it was thoughtful. Later that evening, as they walked toward the parking lot, Emma sighed quietly. You know, most people think dating a single mom means extra problems. Daniel stopped walking. Emma, he said gently, a child isn't a problem. She looked up at him. It's part of someone's story. For a moment, Emma didn't know what to say. Then Lily suddenly grabbed Daniel's hand and pulled him forward. Come on. Race you to the car. Daniel laughed and ran with her. Emma watched them together. For the first time in years, a thought crossed her mind that both excited and scared her. Maybe. Just maybe. Someone could accept her life exactly as it was. But Emma had no idea that Daniel had a secret he hadn't told her yet. And when she found out, it would completely change how she saw him. A month later, Emma and Lily were invited to a small community charity event at the park. Daniel had helped organize it. There were games for kids, food stands, and volunteers everywhere. Emma watched Daniel greeting people, helping children, and setting up tables. You seem popular, she teased when he walked back toward her. Daniel laughed nervously. Something like that. Before Emma could ask more, a woman approached them. Daniel. The director wants to speak with you. Emma froze. Director, she repeated. The woman smiled. You didn't tell her. Daniel rubbed the back of his neck. Tell me what? Emma asked. The woman pointed to a banner across the park. Emma turned to read it. Hope Haven, community support for single parents. Her eyes widened. The woman continued proudly. Daniel founded this organization 3 years ago. Emma looked back at him, shocked. You started this? Daniel nodded quietly. My mom struggled a lot when I was growing up, he explained. So I wanted to create something that helps single parents with childcare, food programs, and support. Emma felt speechless. All this time, she thought he was just a kind stranger at the park. But Daniel had been dedicating his life to helping families like hers. You never told me, she said softly. Daniel shrugged. I didn't want it to sound like I was trying to impress you. Emma looked around at the parents laughing, the children playing, the volunteers helping families. For the first time, she saw the full picture of who Daniel really was. And suddenly his reaction that first day made perfect sense. Because to him, single moms were never a problem. They were heroes. But what happened next would surprise Emma even more. As the evening event began to end, families slowly packed up and headed home. Lily was tired but happy, holding a small balloon from one of the game booths. Emma stood beside Daniel watching the sunset paint the sky orange and pink. I think today was Lily's favorite day ever, Emma said. Daniel smiled. Mine too. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then Emma finally said what had been on her mind. You know, when I first told you I was a single mom, I expected you to walk away. Daniel shook his head gently. Emma, raising a child alone takes more courage than most people realize. She looked down. For a long time, I felt like my life came with a warning label. Daniel turned toward her. I see it differently, he said. How? I see a woman who didn't give up. A mom who shows up every day for her daughter. Emma felt tears sting her eyes. No one had ever described her that way before. Just then, Lily ran over and hugged Daniel's leg. Daniel, are you coming to the park again tomorrow? Daniel knelt beside her. If your mom says it's okay. Lily looked at Emma with hopeful eyes. Emma smiled. I think that would be nice. Daniel stood up again, and for a moment their eyes met. That day at the park, Emma thought she was just warning a stranger about her life. But instead, she found someone who saw strength where she saw struggle. And sometimes, the smallest conversation can spark something powerful. A reminder that kindness, understanding, and respect still exist in the world. And sometimes, they show up exactly when you least expect them. Sparkles.